Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on Wednesday, the 23rd of August. As always, we bring you the news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Ashwin Berry. In the news tonight, the Ministry of Justice's Integrity Committee, in partnership with the Namibia Blood Transfusion Service, has organized an Integrity Awareness Day in Windhoek. This is to raise awareness among staff members and the general public about the committee and how it encourages accountability and transparency among staff members, according to Edmund Kwaseb, Senior Public Relations Officer. It is also an effort to engage in one-on-one dialogues about concerns of integrity and ethics.
Good morning. My name is Edmund Kwaseb, the Senior Public Relations Officer at the Ministry of Justice. Today we are having a small activation or an awareness session where we are doing two things at once. First, we are giving information and sharing information around our Integrity Committee. That really has to do with making sure that our staff members are able to do their work in a trustworthy manner and in a manner that projects transparency within our processes. So we are trying to raise awareness around that. We are sharing information with our staff members. We have a survey that's up where we are trying to get a baseline understanding of where our staff members are when it comes to integrity and ethics within the ministry. Secondly, we are having then the Namibia Blood Transfusion Service here, where they are sharing information around blood transfusion, as well as identifying blood types of staff members, because it's very important that we should know what type we are, blood type we are, and then be able then to donate such blood to that blood transfusion service. And then all in all, it's going to be an opportunity just of networking, sharing information, and making sure that our staff members are well taken care of.
Now, a group of tourists were robbed of their belongings yesterday at Vierkant Klip between Swakopmund and Walvish Bay. The suspects allegedly grabbed a backpack grey with orange zippers, a German and international driver's license belonging to Matthias Giesel, a camera with 2 lenses and cash. They also smashed the right rear window and punctured the tire of the victim's vehicle. The suspects left in a small dark grey vehicle with registration number N1205 7WB toward the side of Walvish Bay. The police are yet to provide an official report. The Namibia Civil Aviation Authority says the Paragon Aviation Group, which won a bid to provide ground handling services at the Hosea Kutako International Airport, satisfies all the requirements to provide the service. This comes amid concerns over Paragon's ability to operate ground handling services at the HKIA following the eviction of Menzies Aviation, which reasoned it needed adequate time to exit from the airport. NCAA Executive Director Tosca Sem said the company was scrutinized and vetted, removing any doubts that it was not up to the task of providing ground handling services. Paragon's screening machines adhere to international security protocols, meeting rigorous security protocols, NCAA Director Tosca Sem said. Meticulous screening conducted, including the audit of Paragon's readiness to operate as a ground handling service provider, were continuous assessments carried out on its warehouse. These meticulous assessments reaffirmed the company's unwavering commitment to security measures, resulting in the issuance of the Probationary Regulated Agent Certificate. Notably, these assessments included robust access control protocols, screening methodologies, and precise cargo storage requisites. The outcomes affirmed Paragon's consistent compliance with these requirements, culminating in the conferment of a Probationary Regulated Agent Certificate, and this was according to SEM. President Hage Geingob will be traveling to South Africa to attend the much-anticipated BRICS summit that kicked off on Tuesday, 22 August 2023, and will come to a close tomorrow. The presidency said in a statement issued this morning that Geingob will participate and deliver a statement at the BRICS Africa Outreach and the BRICS Plus dialogues during the XV BRICS summit. The BRICS Africa Outreach and BRICS Plus dialogue will focus on drawing continuity and building from the BRICS Africa Outreach and BRICS Plus dialogues which have been convened in the past. The sub-theme for the BRICS Africa Outreach and the BRICS Plus dialogues in 2023 is BRICS in Africa, working towards the realization of African aspirations. A farmer and several farm workers in the Omashete area had to throw in the towel at the weekend after they had been on the trail of Gemsbok poachers for more than 10 hours in vain. The poachers walked at least 60 kilometers to slaughter a chamois. According to the farmer on whose farm it was slaughtered, it was done this way because there may be no more wild animals nearby. In another case, the cattle thieves also slaughtered a brown Vier stud bull belonging to Poenbrink in the Grootfontein area less than a week ago. This follows after cattle thieves also slaughtered one of the Brahman stud bulls shortly before. Elvira Hatting reports.
'n Boer en verskeie plaaswerkers in die Omachete-omgewing moes die afgelope naweek opgee nadat hulle vir langer as 10 ure tevergeefs op die spoor van Gemsbok-stropers was. Die stropers het na raming minstens 60 km geloop om een gemsbok te slag. Volgens die boer op wie se plaas geslag is daar so ver gestap omdat daar moontlik nie meer wild op nabygeleë plase oor is nie. In nog 'n geval het veediewe ook minder as 'n week van tevore 'n braunvie-stoetbul wat aan Poenbrink behoort in die Grootfontein omgewing geslag. Dit volg nadat veediewe kort van tevore ook een van sy Brahman-stoetbulle geslag het. Hulle sal dalk 'n paar weke wegbly, maar hulle sal weer kom om wild te slag, het Bara Jansen van Rensburg uit die Omachete-omgewing aan die Republikein gesê. Die diewe het die ouer, dragtige gemsbokooi vroeg Saterdagoggend op Jansen van Rensburg se plaas gestroop, maar die stropers en hul honde se spore het ook oor verskeie van sy buurplase gelê. Dit was duidelik dat daar gereeld en al lank in die omgewing gejag word. Hy het aanvanklik reageer op oproepe van buurplasse dat daar Saterdagoggend omstreeks 1:30 honde gehoor is wat geblaf het. Dit is nooit 'n goeie teken nie, want dit beteken wilddiewe jag skelm, het hy gesê. Hy het toe ook oorblyfsels van die gemsbok koei gevind en in die hoek van sy plaas waar dit aan die 3 ander plase grens. Daar was nie veel oor nie, net die longe wat in 'n bos hang, die gemsbok se kop, die inhoud van die pens en die fetus wat onder 'n bos ingegooi is, het hy gesê. Die verlies aan een gemsbok is nie net meetbaar aan die vleis nie, maar ook aan die trofeewaarde van die dier. Saam is dit ongeveer 12.000 Namibiese dollar, het hy gesê.
That brings us to the end of our top stories. Now in Story of the Day, a 9-year-old boy drowned in a man-made dam at Onyelelo village in the Oshana region. We'll be talking about that shortly.
Welcome to My.NA Cars, your ultimate destination for everything automotive.
I am your host, Diana Master.
Teamwork makes the dream work, right?
Discover the latest models, innovative technologies, and expert insights from our passionate hosts. Learn essential maintenance tips and get exclusive behind-the-scenes access to the automotive industry. Don't miss My.NA Cars on NTV every Thursday at 2100 hours. Tune in and ignite your passion for automobiles.
On a sad note, a 9-year-old boy drowned in a man-made dam at Onyelelo village in the Oshana region yesterday afternoon. The deceased is said to have been sent to fetch water from the dam when he slipped and fell in. According to a family member, when they realized the deceased had been missing for too long, they went looking for him. They discovered his t-shirt, underwear and pants outside the dam and alerted the police around 8 p.m. and could not retrieve them at the time. As it was already dark. The deceased body was recovered this morning by the Namibian police force. In community news, members of the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters hand over a petition to the Office of the Judiciary. Stay with us.
Welcome to Active Kids, a daily TV show that sparks creativity, learning, and fun for young minds. With exciting activities and lessons, Active Kids inspires curiosity and a love for learning.
You face to the
15.
The perfect mix of play and education. Don't miss out on the fun. Tune into Active Kids on NTV every weekday at 10 o'clock and let the adventure begin.
Members of the Namibia Economic Freedom Fighters today handed over a petition to the Office of the Judiciary in which they demand that their party member and activist Michael Amshelelo be released from detention. The handover was accompanied by a peaceful demonstration at Zoo Park in the capital. Amshelelo was arrested at a peaceful march by unemployed youths on Independence Day in March.
Take the men to stand up. As I said earlier, politics is not for the weak, but it is for the strong, because it's only the strongest that will survive it. We understand. So we are here. We are going to read the petition. We are going to hand over the petition to Mr. Kukure. He is the Executive Director of the Judiciary. I hope that's well understood. Handla! Handla! What do we want? Justice! What do we want? Justice! Justice for who? Justice for who? When do we want it? Now! When do we want it? Now! Thank you.
Annual consumer price inflation in South Africa slowed to its lowest level in 2 years. Stay with us for economic news.
To another exciting episode of Irongo Top. Julle is weer en vertel ook vir julle waar die vis julle moontlik kan byt.
Annual consumer price inflation in South Africa slowed to its lowest level in 2 years, reaching 4.7% in July from 5.4% in June, according to Statistics SA. This is the lowest reading since July 2021, when the rate was 4.6%. It is also the second consecutive month that inflation was below the 6% upper limit of the South African Reserve Bank's target range. According to a Reuters poll, economists expect the central bank to likely leave its repo rate unchanged this year before kicking off a cutting cycle in early 2024. Let's head into the indicators. The Namibian dollar trades at 18.48 next to the US dollar, with 20.06 Namibian dollars getting you €1. Gold, copper and platinum all managed to register upticks. Brent crude oil made a downturn of 0.59%. An Indian spacecraft landed on the moon today. We'll be talking about that in international news.
We are so excited to be kickstarting your morning with entertainment. Everything was happening during this past weekend.
Yes.
Exciting news.
Wow, no, she was killing it already.
In my opinion, I don't see anything wrong with him serving the full term.
As well as keeping you informed on the issues that you need to know happening in and around our country.
An Indian spacecraft landed on the rugged, unexplored south pole of the moon today in a mission seen as crucial to lunar exploration and India's standing as a space power just days after the similar Russian lander crashed. This moment is unforgettable. It is phenomenal. This is a victory cry of a new India, said Prime Minister Narendra Modi, who waved the Indian flag as he watched the landing from South Africa, where he is attending a regional summit. Scientists and officials clapped, cheered and hugged each other as as the spacecraft landed and people across India broke out in celebration, setting off firecrackers and dancing in the streets. India is on the moon, said S. Somanath, chief of the Indian Space Research Organization, as the Chandrayaan-3 spacecraft landed. This was India's second attempt to land a spacecraft on the moon and came less than a week after Russia's Luna 25 mission failed. People across the country were glued to television screens and said prayers as the spacecraft approached the surface. Chandrayaan means moon vehicle in Hindi and Sanskrit. In 2019, ISRO's Chandrayaan-2 mission successfully deployed an orbiter, but its lander crashed. The Chandrayaan-3 is expected to remain functional for 2 weeks, running a series of experiments, including a spectral meta-analysis of the mineral composition of the lunar surface. The moon rover will take a few hours or a day to come out of the spacecraft, Somanath told reporters, adding that the landing has given India confidence to extend its reach to possible voyages to Mars and Venus. The landing is expected to boost India's reputation for cost-competitive space engineering. The Chandrayaan-3 was launched with a budget of about $74 million, less than the cost to produce the 2013 Hollywood space thriller Gravity. BRICS leaders were weighing rules for admitting new members to the bloc of developing countries at the summit in Johannesburg earlier today, even as splits over its future direction risked undermining its ambition to give the global south more clout in world affairs. China and Russia are keen to grow BRICS, with China's President Xi Jinping calling for the acceleration of the expansion. Addressing the summit, Xi said he was glad to see that developing countries had shown great enthusiasm in participating in BRICS, and many of them having applied to join. Russian President Vladimir Putin, speaking via video link, said the grouping was on course to meet the aspirations of most of the world's population. Strengthening BRICS forms part of Russia's vision of undermining US dominance and building what Putin in his speech called a multipolar world order. He was unable to attend the summit in person because of an arrest warrant issued for him in March by the International Criminal Court, accusing him of war crimes in Ukraine. But Brazil is concerned that expanding BRICS will dilute its influence, though it wants to see neighbor Argentina join the bloc. Whilst India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi indicated his country was open to expansion, providing there were clear ground rules on who could join and how. The question of enlarging BRICS has topped the agenda at the summit and exposed the kinds of diversions of vision that have long plagued the grouping. Stay with us as we head into the weather predictions shortly.
Namibians are still safe.
Everywhere else, the Supreme Court said we are not going to rely on foreign judgments.
By all means, we try to not make journalists public figures, but at the end of the day, they are.
Very good evening. My name is Tewan Jabala, your host.
With their Protestant offsprings.
But the implementation, like she says, is another thing.
Windhoek is expecting an 11 degrees Celsius minimum, whilst Grobabis is slightly colder with a 10-degree minimum expected. However, it is sunny conditions across the board. Ariamsvlei and Rehoboth make up the coldest in the country, of course, along with Aranosa, whilst Rehoboth and Mariento still expect the highest maximums, 31 degrees Celsius. Stay with us as we come back with your sports stories.
Welcome to What's Cooking, where culinary passion meets expert insights.
Somebody must really want to cook and want to cook good food.
Immerse yourself in the bustling world of professional kitchens as top chefs create mouth-watering dishes. Join us for in-depth interviews as our host explores the experiences and expertise of our guest chefs. Don't miss out. Tune in to What's Cooking on NTV every Friday at 2100 hours and let the culinary adventure begin.
Good evening and welcome to Sunset News, brought to you by Sport Wrap. I'm your host, Lemba Mupatami.
A hectic lineup of competitions awaits the Brave Gladiators of Namibia. The team started training on Monday as they prepare to face Gambia on the 18th of September in the first leg qualifier match of the Africa Cup of Nations. They will play the second leg on the 26th of September. They will then turn their attention to the COSAFA Championship, which will kick off on the 30th of September till the 11th of October. Thereafter, they will play African heavyweights and FIFA Women's World Cup debutants Morocco in the Olympic qualifiers. So best of luck to the Brave Gladiators. Moving on, boxing promoter Nestor Tobias, that of course is Nestor Sunshine Tobias, has said preparation for the upcoming Together as One boxing bonanza is at an advanced stage. The event will take place on the 1st of September at the Ongwediva Trade Fair grounds. Lastly, Namibia's national rugby team will take on Blue Bulls in their final home game on Saturday at the Hage Geingob Stadium. Now, rather not at the Hage Geingob Stadium, the match was supposed to be at the Hage Geingob Stadium, but moved to the Windhoek High School field, Wegkop. Now, the team is leaving for the World Cup, the France Rugby World Cup, and this will basically be just be a farewell for the team. So if you're around Windhoek or if you're in Windhoek, do go out there and support the team. With that, we end today's Sunset News, but we will be back again tomorrow.
Welkom jullie, mijn naam is Brian Munango en ik is jullie aanbieder voor Gooi Kolen. Dit meest donderdagse sportstrip noem. Einde van hierdie programma zal ik en hoe om Frans te praten. Je m'appelle? Je bent?
Le Jean.
Tu as reach me.
Is dit nou onderbroek?
Blijf geschakeld, we zien jullie weer vrijdag volgende week.
Gooi kool!
Gooi kool!
Thank you for staying with Sunset News. Let's get into the highlights from this evening's broadcast. The Namibia Civil Aviation Authority says the Paragon Aviation Group, which won a bid to provide ground handling services at the Hosea Kotako International Airport, satisfies all the requirements to provide the service. President Hage Geingob will be traveling to South Africa to attend the much-anticipated BRICS, Russia, India, China and South Africa summit that kicked off on Tuesday, 22 August 2023 and came to a close on Thursday. Of course, the B in BRICS stands for Brazil. In sport, a hectic lineup of competitions awaits the Brave Gladiators of Namibia. The team started their training on Monday. They will face Gambia on 18 September in the first leg qualifier match of the Africa Cup of Nations. They will play the second leg on the 26th of September. And with that, we have come to the end of the broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all the NMH platforms on weekdays as well as on our website oneup2.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV 285, GoTV channel 25 every weekday and Sunday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. This has been Sunset News. My name is Ashwin Berry. Don't end your day without us.